Okay, we'll be getting started in just a few moments. Before I begin with the blessing, I'd like to offer a few practical notes. If you have a cell phone or something that makes noise, please either turn it off or turn it to vibrate. And also an apology for the heat or the lack of heat in this room. We'll try our best to warm this holy space with our hearts and the words of our panelists this afternoon. And it may warm up as the afternoon goes on. Hinei ma tov u'manaim shevet achim gam yachad. How good and how pleasant it is when we can all gather together as one. As we gather together this afternoon, may we, each and every one of us, be blessed with the strength to listen, the humility to grow, and the wisdom to know how to move forward to do our own part to create healing in this world. May words inspire us, may stories challenge us, and may sparks of hope, healing, and humor guide us on our own journeys. As we're reminded by the words of our wisdom text, Pirkei Avot, it is not our responsibility to finish the work of perfecting the world, but we are not free to abstain from it. Let us all step into this moment with intention, ready to learn from each other. I'd like to invite up Catherine to offer another blessing.
Thank you. Tanse, everybody. Could you say tanse? Tanse. That's hello, or basically, how are you in the Cree language. So, yes, my name's Catherine Richardson. My Cree name is Kinu Isqueyu, and I'm very happy to be with you today and open with a blessing. Yeah, it's a lovely invitation, especially since it's not my place of worship. My place of worship is usually outside. So I'm a Métis woman. My mother is from Fort Chipewyan in northern Alberta, and I was raised on Vancouver Island and came to this territory, which I will acknowledge, the Mohawk Haudenosaunee territory, about 2.5 years ago. I have a few labels. I am a professor at the University of Montreal in the School of Social Work, and I'm a co-founder of the Center for Response-Based Practice, which is an organization dedicated to helping people recover from violence in a spirit of dignity. And I'm a co-director of the Network of Spiritual Progressives in Montreal with my partner Isaac, and we do a lot of work on both violence prevention, recovery, and resistance. So I'm going to open with a blessing today, and I'm just going to, this is what we do. This is a smudge bowl, and I have a little bit of sage in there. And the purpose of this kind of blessing is it's a purification ritual, and it also, we say, it helps to clear any negativity away. So just to enter the room, and the smoke is to carry our prayers to whoever it is that you receive your prayers. For me, it's Creator and creation. So I'm just going to light a little bit here. And we also use an eagle feather, which also is a bird that takes your prayers up to Creator. So, Kichimanatu, Kukumushum. Start by acknowledging the Great Spirit and also grandmother and grandfather, and that means the very first grandmother and the very first grandfather. So in all our human line, they were probably the same ones, okay? And then we acknowledge the 6 directions, which are the 4 cardinal points, the above, and Mother Earth. And when we are working on the human plane, we talk about the 4 cardinal points in a kind of medicine wheel, and it represents what they originally called the 4 races. I've changed that. The races from the 4 corners of the world, but the diaspora people, all the people in between as well. It represents the aspects of life from childhood, adolescence, adulthood, and the elders. So when we pray, we ask Creator to bless us all and to acknowledge the 2-leggeds and the 4-leggeds, all the living beings that offer themselves so we sustain ourselves and so that we can do good works every day. We often send special prayers, as I will today, to remember those people who are unwell, infirm, in hospitals, in institutions, and who rely on the kindness of others to care for them. Ka kiawa negamenek. Okay, so I am going to sing you one of the songs that we sing often. I believe I will sing the Strong Woman song today to acknowledge the gathering and all the women that are here. And just that feminine spirit of nurturing and love and caring. And Alla has agreed to come and sing with me. I get to drum though, because I don't know what she'll do.
Not
Okay.
well, I won't do that. I'll hold it.
So, okay. Way, hey, hey, hey,
Way, hey, hey, hey,
way, hey, way, hey, way, hey, way, hey, way, hey, way, hey. Adishna be que mindo mindo de win, que mindo de win, gane da mino de wo way hey. Way hey hey hey
Way, hey, hey, hey,
way hey way hey way hey 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 way hey Anishna be que mindo de win, que mindo de win, gane da mino de way hey. Way hey hey hey
Way, hey, hey, hey,
way hey way hey way hey way hey. Isn't she good? Thank you. Hi. So I will just move out of the center here. Thank you.
So I'm Rabbi Boris Dolan. I'm the rabbi of this wonderful community, Congregation Dor She'emet, and it's my great honor to welcome you to this program this afternoon. We know in a world filled with so many blessings, and unfortunately an ever-growing stream of challenges, that the simple opportunity to gather together, to listen, to learn from each other's unique stories and life's journeys is so profoundly important. In Judaism, this simple act of listening, of humbly sitting to hear the voices of others, is the beginning of walking down the path of tikkun olam, of healing the world and creating a society of more justice, of more peace and hope. And today, as we hear the stories of these amazing women, as we learn from their wisdom and be inspired by the work that they've done, we can all hope to carry with us the power to do our own good work, to become our own change makers in the world. As I opened with my prayer, we often begin our prayer services with the words, Hine ma tov u'ma na'im shevet achim gam yachad, how good and how pleasant it is when we can all gather together as one. As we learn today, as we grow today, let us all hold on to the hope for a more unified, a more whole, and a more peaceful world. We wish to welcome all of our distinguished panelists and our moderator, as well as everyone who's made it here this afternoon to learn and listen along with us, members of Congregation Dor She'emet and guests. This event, co-sponsored by Mountain Lake PBS and Congregation Dor She'emet, is the outcome of the efforts of our planning committee, our open-minded audience who's here to listen, and the generosity of people and organizations like our gold sponsors, Totem Acoustic, Sipori Catering, And this wonderful catering organization is run by our own in-house caterer and executive chef, Patrizia Decori. Our bronze sponsors, Jason Rahal, Vice President and Portfolio Manager of RBC Dominion Securities, and the Brian Bronfman Family Foundation, as well as many other supportive donors and advertisers. One such advertiser is none other than our distinguished member of National Assembly for our riding, Darcy McGee, Mr. David Birnbaum. Elected on April 7, 2014, David Birnbaum serves as the member of the National Assembly for the riding of Darcy McGee and as parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Education and the Minister of Higher Education. Previously, Mr. Birnbaum held the position of Executive Director of the Quebec English School Boards Association from 2004 to 2014. He was the Executive Director of the Canadian Jewish Congress, Quebec region from 1998 to 2004. He was the Executive Director of Alliance Quebec from 1990 to 1998. And in those capacities, he strived to promote and defend minority concerns while strengthening relationships with Quebec's Francophone majority community. He's a former journalist for the Gazette and communications officer at the Old Protestant School Board of Greater Montreal, Centraide, Montreal board member and longtime Big Brother. David and his wife Hélène Charbonneau, have two children, Vincent, who's 19, and Zoe, 23. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. David Birnbaum.
Bonjour, shalom, salam alaikum, Tanzi. Good afternoon. It's a real pleasure to be here and to see once again the congregation Dorsey Emmet taking its role as a voice and conscience of the community so seriously. J'ai eu le plaisir, pendant que j'étais directeur général du Congrès juif canadien, Région du Québec, de travailler de près avec Rabbi Ronnie Aiken of blessed memory, who was so much a part of that tradition of inquiry, of knowledge sharing, of compassion and outward, reaching outward. And I know that's a tradition that you so definitely are repeating today. I've had the pleasure of knowing a couple of your panelists, Dr. Joseph and Dr. Rabbi Grushko. I read the biographies of Reverend Rollert and Dr. Ella Marabit, and of your moderator, Tom Halleck. And I know that tradition of inquiry, compassion, and learning will continue. I read with interest the title, A Woman's Place, Faith-Based Changemakers. And it's interesting, A Woman's Place has something of a pejorative connotation, and I don't know if you chose the title with a wink in your eye, but I know to take it that way because I understand that what we'll learn about and what we'll build upon, which is, I think, part of Dorsey Emmet's DNA, is that a woman's place is absolutely everywhere and central and meaningful and important to our joint development as a society. I guess I would just note that I'm proud to be part of a government and to serve my premier, your premier, Monsieur Philippe Couillard, who I think in his heart and mind would be governed by the kinds of values that govern the work that you do. It's a difficult road to hoe, being in government sometimes, but I think the principles that govern our thinking, and certainly Mr. Couillard's thinking, of inquiry, of fairness, of rigor, of compassion, of tikkun olam, of openness to the world, are very present, and I hope result in us following the right path on your behalf. Anyway, thank you for having me. I really look forward to hearing from all of your panelists. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Birnbaum. Because women are storytellers, this is part of a poem called To Be of Use by Marge Piercy. The people I love the best jump into work head first, without dallying in the shallows, and swim off with sure strokes almost out of sight. I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who are not parlor generals and field deserters, but who move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust, but the thing worth doing well done has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras, vessels for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn. These are put in museums. But you know, they were made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person cries for work that is real. My name is Rabbi Cheryl Gilbert. I'm rabbi educator here at Dorsey Emet, and I am so proud to welcome you to this event that brings together these 5 remarkable women of faith, along with all of our remarkable selves. We invited these women here because we thought that they had something important to share, to teach us. We called our symposium A Woman's Place. But really, what is that? The poet talks about people who submerge themselves in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and to work in the rows, who bring in food and put out fires. Holy work, sacred work, and common as mud. A woman's place. Jumping in head first with our hands and our feet, doing work that is real, making change. And now, I'd like to introduce you to a different kind of change maker. Tom Halleck is our moderator for today. Tom is a very familiar and trusted face on PBS television, and the rest of us are about to learn why. Tom has over 25 years' experience as a Mountain Lake PBS journalist, producer, and anchor of the weekly Mountain Lake Journal. He is an Associated Press Edward R. Murrow Award winner and an Emmy nominee. Tom, would you join me? We are delighted to welcome you as our facilitator of this unique event. We sure hope that you will not be met with any border ban when you try to re-enter the U.S. But if you do, given who we are, know that our borders are always open to you.
Thank you.
And so at this point, it's my pleasure to turn the mic over to you to tell us what we can expect next in this symposium, which we are proud to call A Women's Place, Faith-Based Changemakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you very much. Thank you. We will introduce the panelists in just a moment. I know we want to get to them. I do want to say just a few short words. I am personally very pleased to be here and to partner with Congregation Dorsey Emet on this important event with a group of amazing and inspirational women. The mission of Mountain Lake PBS is to inspire, enlighten, enrich, and encourage a diversity of perspectives in our communities, and this event fits squarely into that mission. As a public media station, we certainly aim to inform our viewers and online users through our local programs and documentaries, as well as national PBS programs like Frontline's award-winning investigative journalism and the News Hour, which provides comprehensive and balanced journalism, which you can't say about a number of media sources on television and online today. But at the same time, we also strive to engage members of the communities we serve at events like this one. Public dialogue, especially in the political climate of today, is essential to engaging and empowering our viewers, our neighbors, to work collectively, constructively, to resolve issues and differences, and to strengthen the social, cultural, and democratic health of our communities. And so, I am honored to be here today to moderate this discussion. Just a little bit about Mountain Lake PBS. We are based in Plattsburgh, New York, but we are so fortunate to have the support of our Canadian friends. In fact, more than half of our members and donors are located here north of the border in Montreal and throughout Quebec. And for that, we are grateful and appreciate your continued support. Our President and CEO, Bill McColgan, is here in the front row, and also Ronit Yarosky with our Canadian Friends of Mountain Lake PBS, of course, lives right here in Montreal. Both she and Bill would love to say hello personally and tell you more about what we do for our communities.